It's one of those late summer, almost fall afternoons in South Bend that feels perfect for football. Welcome to game day at Notre Dame. Last week, the Irish got better as game one got longer and then rode a young running back's breakout performance to a season-opening victory. Today, they aim for a better total performance in what will be this season's only step outside the ACC. South Florida is the opponent, a team that upset the Irish right here 9 years ago. New head coach Jeff Scott spent the last 12 seasons at Clemson avoiding upsets, but now embraces the underdog mentality. In this new normal for Notre Dame, 20% capacity expected again today. Those who make it in will enjoy a picture-perfect afternoon for college football and the second version of Notre Dame against South Florida. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Paul Burmeister. Well, this game is just one of many examples of the non-traditional lead-up to this season that we've had. It was added to the schedule less than 1 month ago. Yesterday, Brian Kelly told us his top priority for his team today, a faster start than last week when they beat Duke. As for Jeff Scott, he told his team, you can win here today. It doesn't have to be a perfect game, but you do have to play really, really well. Jeff Scott went on to share with us how excited he is to come inside Notre Dame Stadium for the first time in his life. His offensive coordinator, though, is much more familiar with these surroundings. Here's Jack Collinsworth.
That's right, Paul. Charlie Weiss Jr. grew up roaming the sidelines of Notre Dame Stadium. He spent 5 years balancing his duties as a student and also an offensive assistant for the university, but now at 27 years old, it's a whole new role. He'll be on the opposite side of the field for South Florida, although Weiss Jr. told me this week there may be more differences than similarities between father and son.
But he might be a little bit more old school. Maybe I'm a little bit more new school. You know, I don't want to say my dad wasn't positive, but or upbeat or any of that stuff. But we definitely got some different personalities. But I feel like, you know, he gave me lots of good lessons and lots of good teachings to take throughout it. And the schemes are very different as well. He watches the tape and he's like, what are you guys doing? You're not even blocking this guy. And why are you doing that? So different game nowadays, I guess.
Well, Weiss Jr. and the South Florida Bulls will take on the Fighting Irish in just a few minutes. Kickoff headed your way next.
This has been a
onside kicks, pooch kicks, fake punts, everything. Eyes up, alert. Let's be smart as a football team. That's one of our key traits. Let's be smart. Let's be disciplined. And let's be tough, okay? Let's take those three watchwords and let's apply them to Notre Dame football today. Let's pray.
That was moments ago inside the Notre Dame locker room. We are moments away from the 7th-ranked Irish playing host to South Florida. The Bulls got off to a good start last week with a win over the Citadel. It was Notre Dame handling Duke right here for their 19th consecutive victory at home. South Florida on the other side. I was right here yesterday when they came out for the first time. They all had their cameras, selfies, and smiles. They took in the entire experience. Now they're ready for 7th-ranked Notre Dame. Led by Brian Kelly, here come the Irish. Kelly, we got a little example there and heard him inside the locker room of a message he shared with us yesterday. Attention to detail needs to be better than it was in week one. I wonder how much better Kyron Williams can be. Over 200 yards of total offense. The ACC running back of the week. He produced that in his first start. Well, South Florida, a team that came on strong in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, but missed a bowl game last year for the first time since 2014. Coaching change. They go from Charlie Strong to Jeff Scott. First-year head coach out of Clemson in South Florida, running onto the field for the first time. Jeff Scott said, I thought I was going to be here for the first time in November as the assistant coordinator for Clemson. He just gets an early start on his first appearance. His counterpart today, Brian Kelly, on the sideline with Jack Collinsworth.
Well, Coach, last week was the first live football in a long time. What do you hope the biggest improvement is week 1 to week 2?
I think getting off to a better start. Obviously, we were slow at getting going. Better start. I think attention attention to detail with, some of the things defensively. We gave up a couple of big plays. I think, settling down in the second half was good to see. Let's do that for 4 quarters.
New head coach on the other sideline, new offensive coordinator. It's a fast-paced offense. What are the keys defensively today?
Well, again, I think if you look at what they have, a lot of skilled players. We got to be able to defend the run first and foremost. They had 300 yards rushing. And then from a defensive standpoint, a little bit unusual defensive structure, 3-3-5. We'll see what happens. They played Citadel last week. So, again, one of those feeling out processes. But, get off to a good start offensively to make some big plays.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thanks, Jack.
Jack Bryan, thank you very much. I'm here inside the booth with my partner, Tony Dungy, the Pro Football Hall of Famer. And on this day, we'll call him the former college quarterback at the University of Minnesota. You were right here watching the Irish take care of Duke last week. They were good enough to win. Brian Kelly wants a faster start. How would you like to see them better today?
Well, I'd love to see that offensive line take control of the line of scrimmage. They were stop and go running the ball, had some spurts, but they need to run more effectively, get that senior group really humming today up front.
Living in Tampa had its professional advantages for Tony Dungy here. He spent Tuesday watching the Bulls practice. What should we know?
Well, University of South Florida, there's one word: speed. They play fast, up-tempo, trying to force you into mistakes, and they have a lot of skill position guys who can really fly. We'll see how Notre Dame handles that speed today.
And they do play a couple of quarterbacks, potentially even 3, but we do expect to see Jordan McLeod, number 3, get the start. He started the last 10 games a year ago and gets the nod again this season. Noah Johnson, number 0, is the better runner of the 2, and he will play at some point early. Ian Book, an impressive record as a starter here at Notre Dame. 21-3, and we'll get an early look at him as the Irish will get the ball to start. 7th-ranked Notre Dame playing host to South Florida. Spencer Schrader, the kicker for South Florida, ready to roll, ready for that ball to be on the tee. One of the exciting freshmen for Notre Dame, backup running back Chris Tyree. And Jeff Scott, here he is, thought about this trip a long time, and now he's ready for his Bulls to take on the Irish.
Yeah, and they talked, their coaching staff, they just hope the moment isn't too big for their guys. Notre Dame on the road. So we'll see how they do. Chris Tyree, I'm anxious to see him too. Had some very good returns last week. Great vision and burst back there. We'll see if they kick the ball to him.
Little over 10,000 last week for Notre Dame against Duke. We expect the same number here. Short kickoff bounces at the 20. Tyree across the 20 now. Little burst. The flag did come out. Good fight out to the 30-yard line. And we'll check in on the early flag. And the referee today is Marcus Woods. He heads an ACC crew.
And just as Coach Kelly talked about it his pregame, hey, we've got to be alert for everything.
Doing the return, personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 4. 15-yard penalty be added to the end of the play. First down.
The Irish get a little head start here. And Notre Dame, it was the theme, and we talked about it early in the week, Tony. It's what Brian Kelly is looking for. They want to avoid what happened to him last week, and that was 3 consecutive 3-and-outs by the offense to start.
Yeah, they want to get their run game going, but Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, told us this is an aggressive defense, and he might have to take some shots early in the game, Paul.
3 tight ends. Heavy formation in for the Irish. Kyron Williams is the back. Play action. Book sets up, lofts one to his left, wide open. Tommy Tremble across the 35 and approaches the 30. Big gain, and you pointed that out right away to take a look at going downfield early, and it works well for a gain of 25.
Yeah, come in with a heavy formation, 3 tight ends. Tommy Tremble, great blocker. Everybody's aware of that, and he's just going to leak out off the play action. Caught that aggressive defense. attacking the line of scrimmage, big play to start.
Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees told us yesterday he'd rather block than catch, but he'll take that 25-yard gain. Book again to the air, fires to his right, complete to McKinley, wrapped up low as he crossed the 25 and gets down to the 23-yard line. He played the most snaps last week of any of the wideouts, but that's his first catch of the season. Kyron Williams comes into this one, the ACC running back of the week. First time that's ever happened for any Irish player. Up front, Robert Hainsey, big right tackle, number 72, joins Ian Book as the two-time captain here on this offense. Second down, 3, third consecutive pass for Book. He's 3 for 3. That's the freshman Michael Mayer. First down across the 20 out to the 18. 7 total yards last week in the first quarter. Much better start today.
Yes, and Tommy Rees being aggressive, throwing the football early. Michael Mayer, I'm glad to see him in the flow because he's a guy that has tremendous ability. We want to see him a little bit more today as well.
Tommy Rees wouldn't mind seeing more of him as well. He had 3 catches last week and now has 1. First and 10 Irish as they're on the move here on their first drive. Now to the ground. Williams finds a gap. Leans forward out to the 10-yard line. Offensive line opened up a nice little hole there off the left side for a gain of 5.
Yes, and we've got a counter play here. We're going to pull people in front. This is, again, a little different front. 3 down linemen. We pull to the left. And Kyron Williams using that vision.
Saw defensive back get out of the way of Tommy Tremble. That side end, he loves the block there. He was ready to clear a path. Second down, 3 now for Book. He's already 3 for 3, looking for 4 for 4, and a touchdown. Incomplete, almost to Javon McKinley.
And again, the Notre Dame coaches told us about getting Javon involved, McKinley involved too. Said he blocked very well. They want to get the ball to him downfield. This is one of the things that he can do really well. Go up and get the back shoulders. Just couldn't get his feet in bounds.
Tommy Rees and Brian Kelly told us they might force the issue to get Big 88 the ball a couple times on the first drive. Now facing 3rd down and 2. Williams behind Book. Right up the middle, a cutback. Tough running down to the 5, still on his feet. And it'll be first down and goal Irish from just inside the 5-yard line.
This is Tommy Tremble. He's a guy who loves to block. He's lined up here in the wing position. They're going to come right behind him. Turn out, keep his feet moving. Great job of staying with Antonio Greer.
Kyron Williams had 2 touchdowns last week. We'll see if he gets a shot at a 3rd, but it's Book back to pass. Looks to his left. Runs out to his right, directs traffic. Keeps it himself across the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame. I think that counts as a fast start.
That is a very fast start. And again, Ian Book does a good job here. Sits in the pocket, looking for Mayer. It's not there. He's really moving, trying to wait for someone to come open, but this is what he does well. And I love the fact that he got the ball in there, didn't throw it away, but used his athleticism. Irish fans happy to see Ian Book get off to a good start on the ground as well as in the air. He only gained 12 yards rushing last week. Low total for him. Heck of a drive there to get it going for Notre Dame. Jonathan Dorr has never missed an extra point in his Notre Dame career. And that lives 7-0 Irish. 12:05 left in the first. Ian Book, 3 out of 4 on that first drive, and he caps it off with a touchdown run. It's early in South Bend, and the Irish are up 7. I was going to say future Irish fans, but they already are Irish fans. Ian Book, terrific start, 3 out of 4, touchdown run. Extra point makes it 7-0 Notre Dame. And I love the aggressiveness. Come out, show some run looks, play action passes. Coach Kelly talked about a fast start. That's a way to generate it. But Tommy Rees breathes a sigh of relief after the struggle in the first quarter last week. Terrific mix, as Tony pointed out, with the run and the pass. Jonathan Dorr kicks it off. Johnny Ford and Terrence Horn are deep. This is Johnny Ford, decides to take a knee.
Let's meet the offense for South Florida. They ran for just over 300 yards last week against the Citadel. Kelly Joyner led the way. It is a patchwork group up front on the offensive line. Mix of experience and a little bit of a veteran group there. They're going to have their hands full with the Irish defensive line.
And one thing we're going to have to watch for here, Paul, is tempo. These guys play fast. They want to get going and keep you off balance on defense.
Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator, whose father is Charlie Weiss, the former head coach, as Jack Collinsworth pointed out earlier, told us during the week that Jordan McLeod is the smoother passer, has the better touch when comparing McLeod and his backup quarterback, Noah Johnson. McLeod, quick pitch to his left, up across the 25 and out to the 28-yard line goes Kelly Joyner, the top rusher for the Bulls, and that's a gain of 3.
And you'll see they're right up at the line of scrimmage, Paul, looking over at the sideline, getting the play, want to go fast.
Joyner remains in the game. Second down 7. Around the right side, nothing there, going down to the 25-yard line. And number 24 is a number we don't see a lot for the Irish defense. He came in yesterday. He was third string. But Shane Simon not available. Maris Leofau also not available. So the 6'1", 227 sophomore from just down the road in Royal Center, Indiana gets the start. And a nice tackle there. Brings up third down and 10. Out of the backfield and going down before Bo Bauer could get to him at the 23-yard line is Joyner.
And the Notre Dame coaches told us that they wanted to anticipate that type of thing, too. They didn't think this team was going to drop back and throw deep on obvious passing situations, get the ball to the backs, quick screens, that type of thing. Notre Dame was ready for it there.
Quite a story returning punts here for Notre Dame. That's walk-on Matt Salerno, number 29, out of Valencia, California. And he's going to let that one bounce. Didn't even make it to the 40-yard line. Out to the 43. And that's where it is down. Trent Schneider, 30-year-old punter, looking forward to his second punt. Side of the foot will give the Irish excellent field position on the Bulls' 43-yard line and already up 7. There is nothing like the Stanley Cup final. Only 2 teams remain for a chance to win the greatest trophy in sports. It all comes down to this. Playoff hockey, Tampa Bay Lightning and the Dallas Stars. The Stanley Cup final, Game 1 begins tonight, 7:30 Eastern, only on NBC. Maybe some Lightning fans taking a peek here at the South Florida Bulls.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Irish already up 7. Ian Book is 3 out of 4. And has a touchdown run, 1st and 10 on the 43. On the move, fires out wide. Braden Lenzy, his first catch of the season, approaches the 20-yard line. Didn't play last week, but there's Ian Book looking good on the move. Gain of 22.
Yes, and again, you did big tight ends in, play action, taking advantage of what Ian Book can do, and it's good to see Braden Lenzy back out there. Didn't see him much last week.
Averaged over 20 yards per catch a year ago and keeps up with that this season. 1st and 10 of the 21. Book, nice pocket to stand in. Moves out to his left. Makes one miss across the 20 and lunges out to the 17-yard line. South Florida defense. Up front, they will play a 4-down line and also mix in some 3-down linemen as well. In the middle linebacker Antonio Greer, the only Bull in double-digit tackles last week. He had 10. The back end is the most veteran group on this team. Corner KJ Sales brings in some ACC experience as he started his career at North Carolina. 2nd down 7. Chris Tyree, the true freshman back behind Book, takes it off the left side, puts his head down in his neck, and gets out to the 13-yard line.
Irish going behind those 3 big tight ends on the left side, trying to hammer the ball.
Big news for Notre Dame fans when Chris Tyree said he was coming to South Bend. He picked the Irish over the likes of Alabama and Oklahoma. He and Kyron Williams got the lion's share of the running back work in that Week 1 win against Duke. This is 3rd down and 3. Book right up the middle. Nice hole by the offensive line. First down, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Tackle made by Greer, but the offensive line you wanted to see look a little bit better here in this first quarter. Off to a good start.
Yeah, they've got a size advantage inside, and you're going to see just coming off the ball, creating that hole, and this is what they should do. This is what they want to do against that smaller defensive front of South Florida.
Tyree remains in at running back. Kyron Williams has 2 carries for 14 yards. First and goal from the 10. Book looking to his left. Now throws. Complete. And down to the 7-yard line. Braden Lenzy with his second catch here this first quarter. Gains 3.
Good job by the South Florida defense, though. They're looking for Mayer in the back of the end zone. They took that away, made him throw underneath, and collapse on it.
Well, as long as the Notre Dame offensive line is doing work up front, the best part of that South Florida defense, the speed with the linebackers, safeties, and corners, and Vincent Davis, the star, half linebacker, half safety, negated a little bit. Back to the ground game. Tyree, tough running inside the 5. Broke a tackle right as he got to the line of scrimmage and makes it down to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, this was a good, strong run, and this young man has very good vision and patience, and Coach Kelly said this is what they needed to see on their zone blocking, good cutback, and then the power running.
Excellent job of keeping his feet. We heard a lot about his speed as a 2-time 55-meter champion in the state of Virginia in high school. With a nice burst of power there.
Saw that leg drive, yeah.
There you go. Third down and goal from the 1. Tommy Tremble joins him in the backfield. Toss sweep. Tyree easily into the end zone. Touchdown Irish.
Following his big tight end or his lead blocker, Tommy Tremble. He lines up in the backfield here, and every man on this team has told us they get excited about watching Tremble as a lead blocker. Comes and attacks. Kick out block, stays with him, makes it easy for Chris Tyree.
We talked to South Florida defensive coordinator Glenn Spencer during the week. He went on and on about Tremble as a blocker, and the last thing he said was, I think he enjoys it.
He really does.
That sentiment was echoed by Tommy Reese and Brian Kelly this week. Chris Tyree, first touchdown as a member of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Jonathan Dorr makes it 14-0. This corner of the end zone has been good to the Irish in the first quarter. Ian Book found it moments ago. To be followed by Chris Tyree, and it's 14-0. For the 6th consecutive year, the Notre Dame Athletics Department is proud to partner with the College Football Playoff Foundation in the Extra Yard for Teachers initiative in support of the Alliance for Catholic Education program. Learn more at ace.nd.edu/CFPF. Ian Book has a touchdown run. Chris Tyree also has a touchdown run, and it feels just as perfect as it looks here today. Temperature in the mid-60s. Very little wind. Excellent day for football. Jonathan Dorr kicking off. Johnny Ford and Terrence Horn deep. This is Horn from 1 yard deep. Out across the 15. Net as he got to the 20-yard line. Let's meet the Notre Dame defense for this afternoon. Defensive line got after the Duke quarterback Chase Bryce so well last week. Captain Dalen Hayes leads the way. Top playmaker for the Irish defense, number 6, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Jack Kaiser gets the start as Shane Simon and Maris Leofau listed as unavailable today. In the back end, 6th-year grad student Sean Crawford is in game 2 of his move from cornerback to safety. And I know you like what you've seen there.
I was really impressed with Sean Crawford last week. Played very instinctive, Paul.
South Florida went 3 and out on their first drive. They tried the ground game. Johnny Ford, little gap and a first down. He's off to the races. This is Johnny Ford, and he slips as he got past the 40-yard line.
And this is what Jeff Scott told us. He has a lot of confidence in his backs. If he can get them in one-on-one situations, they can make things happen with their speed and athleticism. They want to go fast, though. Here they go again.
Yeah, big part of their identity here, Tony. They want to go real fast. They're right back on the ball. And McLeod rolls out to his left, sets up, and fires high.
Okay, we'll go back to the run, Paul. And it's not actually played poorly, but what you're going to see is just a running back make people miss.
Well, Johnny Ford got to that space in a hurry and then turned it on. And he'll be seeing this one tonight. A little slip.
Cut back on Sean Crawford there.
That was a gain of 42. Joyner back in, turns the corner around the 40 and 35. First down, South Florida. Late flag comes in just as Joyner was run out of bounds by D.J. Brown, who starts for Kyle Hamilton, and the middle linebacker, Drew White.
And we're going to get a holding penalty here, Paul, but the thing about it, these backs have...
Second down.
Sorry, I'm talking over the official there. These backs have speed, and this is what Notre Dame is going to have to gauge just how quick these guys are.
Saw Joyner turn that corner, and there was a split second there where it looked like he might not make it to the line of scrimmage, and then boom. Holding, though, brings him back there.
We saw this last week against the Citadel for South Florida. Yeah, I don't know if I like that call, Terry.
Second down, 16 now. McLeod rolls out to his left. Turns his shoulders, nice and easy across the 40-yard line. And that's a completion to Xavier Weaver. Trying to get a little bit of that back. Gain of 6.
And both of these quarterbacks we'll see from South Florida, they're much like Ian Book. They're athletes. They'll move. They won't be stationary targets in the pocket.
So one person there is live with the formation. One card there is live with the play. And they try to get up on the ball as fast as they can. Everybody, not just the quarterback, takes a glance over. And now they're ready to go. Third down and 10 for McLeod. We'll see if the Irish bring a blitz here. They rush 4. McLeod steps up, keeps it himself. Brought down. Former third-string linebacker Jack Kaiser comes up with another stop to bring up 4th down and 5.
And that's a good open field tackle. We'll see Jack Kaiser, new man in there, hasn't played a lot. And you're going to see him just drop, eyeball the quarterback here, spying, and makes a good tackle.
Well, how about his week? He starts out third string, Shane Simon unavailable. Maris Leofau later in the week deemed unavailable. Now Jack Kaiser, a couple of stops already.
Now we got to be careful for fake here. Yes, something going on.
All right, Trent Schneider, the punter, up to his left. We'll see what they do. Keep it themselves. Isaiah Foskey in pursuit. Got it.
When they came out, Paul, in that punt formation, I said, this doesn't make sense. South Florida's got to take some chances to win this game. Notre Dame was on it. Isaiah Foskey, another big play, just like we saw last week.
Isaiah Foskey made a living in the Duke backfield last week. Comes up big on special teams. Backup receiver Jaquez Evans wanted to pass and couldn't escape the big defensive end.
And we were wondering when South Florida lined up in the punt formation, why are they punting the ball? But it was a fake design run, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to fool Isaiah Foskey. They're going to bring the motion and try to get everybody running this way and use Jaquez Evans, but Isaiah stays home, plays it well, and has the speed to chase down a wide receiver.
Kurt Heinisch told us yesterday, once last year, Isaiah accidentally lined up in conditioning with backs and receivers and actually won. Sebo Flemister, first carry of the season, first down, now inside of South Florida territory, a gain of a little bit over 10.
We didn't see Sebo last week, and Coach Kelly said they want to get that outside zone going. He stayed patient with it, used his speed, and got outside.
One of the things we were keeping an eye on early offensively for Notre Dame, Tony, that offensive line looking the parts of having every starter back from last year. They didn't early in the game last week. They certainly do today. First down and 10 now from the Bull 47. Flemister remains the tailback. Right up the middle. Tries to get outside and cut down as he got to the line of scrimmage. Ball came out. Robert Hainsey got his hands on it. KJ Sales, the cornerback for South Florida, by the way, terrific tackle. And he stripped that ball out, but the two-time captain there to pick it up.
Yeah, these are physical corners from University of South Florida. That was a good hit by Sales, and they are calling it a fumble. Comes up, gets his hand on the ball. Second man in, got it.
Well, that was Thad Mangum. Defensive tackle came in, made a lot of plays last week against the Citadel. Had 9 tackles. Notre Dame 2nd down and 4 from the South Florida 41. Look, this is Braden Lenzy, the end around across the 40, trying to get to that speed and doesn't get to. Mike Hampton, the corner, there to finish the job. We've seen that play work very well for the Irish offense, but it was snuffed out there by the Bulls.
Yes, Lenzy didn't play last week. Again, they conscious effort to get the ball in his hands early with a reverse there.
Brian Kelly facing 3rd down and 1 now. Zebo Flemister, the tailback. Book gives to him inside, goes off the left a little bit. Looks like he got just enough to move the chains. 1st down, Notre Dame.
Yep. Go right behind Patterson, Banks, and Eichenberg on that left side.
So we've seen the experienced offensive line opening holes. Here's what they look like. And boy, if you're a quarterback, if you're an offensive coordinator, you can look down at career starts and see double digits for every single one.
Gives you a lot of confidence.
1st and 10, play action, Book. Boy, look at that pocket they're giving him. Out to his right, just dumps it to Flemister. Hit hard at the 30 and finished it off out to the 27-yard line.
That's really a good job by Ian Book. Good play action. They wanted to take a shot. South Florida covered it well. Covered up the receivers. Nobody there. Just buy a little time. Come to your check down. And again, we talked about that offensive line. Nothing there. Nothing there. Go through your progressions. 5 seconds to throw. You're going to win a lot of those on offense.
Allowing Ian Book a very good chance to achieve that goal of getting to his 2nd and 3rd progression, maybe even the 4th or 5th that time. 2nd down 1. Flemister across the 30, cuts it back across the 20. Head down and upended as he got down to the 16-yard line. Bentley Sanders makes the tackle. Gain of 11.
We've got tight ends coming off point of attack, and this is Michael Mayer. We're going to watch him as a point of attack blocker. Good kick out.
Timeout.
Staying
South
with
Florida.
it. Nice hold.
Their first 30-second timeout.
Watching Michael Mayer make that block brings me back to Brian Kelly. Yesterday, he said, I've never had a tight end, and they've had some very good tight ends here. Never had a tight end at this age that was so confident in his physical abilities.
He said he really comes across like a senior, and he said that in a good way, not a bad way. Very confident. His teammates have confidence in him, and the coaching staff definitely wants to get him the ball, especially down here in the red zone. We saw that little run, point of attack. Look for him later on to fake that block, sneak out, and be a receiver in the red zone.
Jack Collinsworth, come on in.
Yeah, I asked Joe Wilkins, wide receiver Joe Wilkins, for his first impression of freshman tight end Michael Mayer. He said he's just a beast. Told me against Duke, he's on the other side of the field when Mayer caught that 3rd down ball well short, sidestepped the first defender, ran over the 2nd defender to go get the 1st down. And Wilkins said none of it surprised me because Mayer's been doing the same thing every day in practice. And Wilkins added, I hear the baby Gronk whispers all right, but there's no way I can hype up a freshman like that just yet.
He was in the U.S. All-American Bowl that we have on NBC in January, and I was looking out of the film like, who let the 25-year-old out there with these college freshmen to be? Certainly looks the part. 1st down and 10 now. Notre Dame with Kyron Williams and Jafar Armstrong in the game at running back. And that's Jafar trying to pick his way around the right side, and he was met just as he crossed the 20-yard line.
And this was a good job by the USF front for the first time, getting a little penetration. They won that battle, forced it wide, and forced a loss.
Jason Vaughn, starting defensive end, made that tackle. Loss of 3 for Jafar Armstrong. And that's the 4th running back we've seen touch the ball. Williams, Tyree, Flemister, and now Armstrong. 25 seconds left in the 1st quarter. Book with 3 wideouts to his left. Looking that way. Now comes back. He's in trouble. Ball was knocked out. And it goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. It's ruled an incomplete pass. And the pressure there from Demarais Bellamy, the outside linebacker.
And he's actually playing in place of Dwayne Boyles. And Boyles has been a big play guy for them, but blitz, Notre Dame offensive line doesn't pick it up, forces a 3rd and long. Oh, I don't know. They might want to look at that one.
They called that a fumble. Book back to pass quickly out of the backfield. Jafar Armstrong across the 10. Head down across the 5. Still on his feet. Down to the 2-yard line. Jafar Armstrong on 3rd and 13. Strong running there. It will be 1st and goal Irish from inside the 2.
And this is a running back screen. And you can see the cross blocking right in front of him and puts his head down. Strong running.
Jafar Armstrong, former wide receiver here at Notre Dame, showing off both skills. Catches the ball and puts the head down, and the Irish are in great position heading into the 2nd. Ian Book has the touchdown run. Chris Tyree also has one. And the Irish have a 2-touchdown lead heading to the 2nd quarter. Great look there. Some school spirit here on campus. Go Irish. And they win in that 1st quarter. Pair of touchdown runs, one from Ian Book and one from Chris Tyree. They lead 14-0 and are set up to add to it here in the 1st play of the 2nd quarter.
Keep an eye on Tommy Tremble, our fullback. I have a feeling he's going to take you to the ball.
Jafar Armstrong, the tailback, wrapped up, but carries tacklers forward and gets inside the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal from right there. What a weapon at tight end. You know he can catch and run, but you line him up at fullback as well. Take advantage of how well he blocks. We'll see if they follow him again here.
Sneak it in.
Book trying to get in himself. No signal.
I think he's in.
Touchdown.
Going behind his left side. His big veteran guys.
We thought Jafar Armstrong might follow Tommy Tremble, but Ian Book follows Patterson and Bars and does get just across that strike.
You can see, yep. Helmet, ball clearly over.
Right through that center guard gap.
Good push.
Jonathan Dorr is 2 for 2, and he is now 3 for 3. Ian Book, 2 touchdown runs, 21-0 Irish. That's Jeff Scott, the first-year head coach for South Florida. He spent the last 12 seasons coaching the offense at Clemson, right there for Dabo Swinney. He spent the last 5 as the co-offensive coordinator. Look at some of the passing game weapons. He worked with Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. They routinely averaged over 40 points and 500 yards. Why would you leave that spot? We asked him. He said location. Terrific location to recruit there in Tampa.
Yeah, he knows that Florida area, recruited a lot of those receivers from that Tampa, St. Pete area, and he wants to create a culture just like they had at Clemson. Family atmosphere, bringing people together and making it fun to play. And they're doing a good job of recruiting that Tampa Bay area.
We're listening to him talk about his childhood around college football. The word fun comes to mind. His father, Brad Scott, offensive coordinator at Florida State when he was a kid. He was in the locker room for Bobby Bowden's big speeches before Miami games and carried the head coaching cords of his father when he was the head man at South Carolina. And South Florida will begin here on their own 18-yard line. So his dad, Brad, was on the staff at Clemson for a while and brought him up, not just with his nose pressed against the glass for college football, but took him on the inside. Was an assistant there at Clemson. He's now the chief of staff here at South Florida.
And Brad Scott Paul, great coach and a great man. And Jeff was telling us about sitting in Charlie Ward's locker and seeing Bobby Bowden come in and give the speech and saying, that's what I want to do. I want to be a head coach in this league.
And Brad was 39 when he went from offensive coordinator at Florida State to head coach at South Carolina. And Jeff, his son, 39 when he made that decision to go from Clemson to South Florida. We'll start with a running game and just across the 20-yard line. Tackle made by Jack Kaiser, getting the surprise start today as Leofau and Simon ruled unavailable.
And Jack's playing well. He's finding the ball, which is what you want to do at that weak side linebacker position.
You see examples every Saturday and also Sundays of that next man up mentality when someone has to step up when they weren't expected to. Second down 8. McLeod low and behind Trey Dukes. It's a receiver I know you were looking forward to seeing here today.
Yeah, and that was an example of that RPO, that run pass option. Faked it in there. They held the linebackers, and McLeod had a chance, just off target on the throw.
Jordan McLeod facing 3rd down and 8, and his team down 3 touchdowns already. Irish bring 4. They go for the delayed draw. Nothing going up the middle. Notre Dame defense comes up big once again. Bo Bauer was there. Tagovailoa Amosa as well.
And Notre Dame's got a big size advantage inside, and there was just no movement on that draw. But again, I think well coached by the Notre Dame defense. Probably not going to get drop back passes in those obvious passing situations. Looking for the gimmick plays. Notre Dame was on it.
Trent Schneider, 30-year-old Australian punter, on to do his job once again, in the walk-on Matt Salerno on his own 40. High snap, almost blocked. And Salerno lets it bounce just after it crossed the 50 and comes back to the 49. Notre Dame clicking along very well. Both sides of the ball on a perfect afternoon here in South Bend. They're up 21. Notre Dame leading South Florida 21-0. That's Tommy Tremble in there, number 24 inside it, showing off his range early.
Yeah, a lot of things that he does. As a matter of fact, they talk about George Kittle when they talk about Tommy. Receiving up the field. Now watch this aggressiveness on the scissor screen. Bam! And then lead blocking from the backfield. And everyone gets excited about how this young man blocks, the energy he brings to the running game.
Brian Kelly told us yesterday, you know, he was a defensive end in high school, very good defensive end, and he's never left that mentality.
No, he's taken the contact to another level.
1st and 10, Kyron Williams, the tailback, off the right side, puts that foot in the ground across the 50. Forward lean the entire way out to the 45 and fights his way out for a gain. They'll give him 10 yards, 1st down Irish.
And this is that outside zone that they want to get going. They said he wasn't reading it that well last week. He was patient this time, saw the hole, stayed with it, and made the powerful run to finish and get a 1st down.
Kyron told us yesterday in one way the quarantine was good for him. Went home to St. Louis. His mom cooked healthy for him. He lost 10 pounds, and now he's running at 195 and feels much better. Book another nice pocket, fires and misses behind a wide open Javon McKinley.
Yes, this offensive line is doing a tremendous job, and Coach Kelly said he wanted to see Ian Book if his feet would settle down, and there's no reason. Good pickup there by Kyron Williams, just a little bit behind. That's Ian Book. He's got to settle in and just make that good throw.
Talked to Brian Kelly right after the game last week. He said, my message to Ian is going to be, don't miss the layups.
Make the easy that was throws. A layup right there.
Brings it up 2nd down 10. Williams once again tries the left side, likes it. Look at him keep his feet there as he gets close to the 30-yard line.
Nice run, and this is that outside zone again. And Robert Hainsey told us yesterday, he said there will be some cutbacks because they play so fast and they run to the ball. Our backs will be able to cut back, and you'll see it here as the good vision, start left, and the cutback hole is backside. Very good run and finished with power. Actually ran over Vincent Davis, who's a good tackler.
In our conversation yesterday, Mentioned being from St. Louis, his favorite running back in the NFL, Zeke Elliott, likes to run over people like him, and you saw it there. Book, another pocket. Comes underneath. There's Williams. Catches it and wrapped up by the little middle linebacker, Antonio Greer. Kevin Kegler, defensive lineman there as well.
And again, this is what they're wanting to see from Ian Book. Go through your reads. He had a three-man, high-low. He took it from deep to short. South Florida covered the deep ball, come off to the check down, make it second and medium rather than a bad play.
There you go. Second down, 6 now. Tommy Rees more than happy to make that call anytime. Bo Flemister saw action in the first, is back in at tailback. Flemister not touched across the 20. It's a race that he'll win. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Bo Flemister is going to have fun celebrating, but Tommy Tremble, watch him just wipe out Antonio Greer. Staying after him, and then a missed tackle. Sebo does a great job of making Bentley Sanders miss, but that was all started by the point of attack blocking by Tommy Tremble.
Well, Tony, it's one thing for a tight end to kind of take out a defensive back when he has a 10-yard run. It's another off the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Dorr is good to stand up the leading tackler on the other team and get rid of him for the play
and have fun doing it.
Third member of the Irish to have a rushing touchdown, Ian Book. Kyron Williams, pardon me, Chris Tyree, and now Bo Flemister. Must be Monday Night Raw, Mondays at 8, 7 o'clock Central on USA. That could win the best outfit here in the stands. Would fit in at a WWE event. Jonathan Dorr set to kick off. Perfect afternoon, sunshine, blue skies, mid-60s. South Florida coming out here with Terrence Horn across the 10 and net of the 16, and makes it out to the 17-yard line. Bo Bauer is there, as he often is, and the freshman quarterback, Clarence Lewis. Okay, we talked at the top of the broadcast about how South Florida is expected to play two different quarterbacks. There is the second quarterback, number 0, Noah Johnson. He was the 2018 Southwest Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Comes back home to South Florida.
Yes, from Armwood High School in Tampa. Great high school quarterback. Had a great career going at Alcorn, but he's a South Florida fan. He wanted to play at USF, and he gives them a little more running than McLeod.
Noah Johnson, Alcorn State. Over 2,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing in 2018. And around. See if we can make it out across the 15, and cannot. Notre Dame defense there. Backup safety KJ Wallace to make the tackle.
And our coaching staff at Notre Dame told us this is what they'd like to do when Noah Johnson is in. Make sure he doesn't run the ball, keep the ball going laterally, put it in the running back's hands, and did a great job of chasing it down there.
We saw starting quarterback there, Jordan McLeod, on the sideline. He's 2 for 4 for 3 yards. Johnson lost one to the left side. Too much for Trey Dukes. Second time they've tried to get the ball to him ineffectively, and it's 3rd down 14.
And Coach Scott likes Trey Dukes as a receiver. He hasn't been overly productive at USF, but he's told us Dukes has the talent that a lot of those Clemson receivers had. He could be an NFL receiver, he believes.
6'4", 218 graduate student. So on his first possession here, tough spot for the backup quarterback, Noah Johnson. Facing 3rd down 14, empty backfield. Plenty of time. 12 seconds still in the play clock.
And Notre Dame's going to play man coverage. They don't want Johnson to run the ball here.
It's Johnny Ford in motion. They fake to him. Johnson does run it himself, but only made it out to the 18-yard line. There's that man again.
Yes.
Jack Kaiser with the stop. Well, he has answered the call as the 2 linebackers in front of him, Simon and Leofau, unavailable.
Kaiser right there. You see 2 linebackers in the box. They're looking for run. Watch him find the ball. Good job.
Matt Salerno, the walk-on from Valencia, California. First time he's gotten this assignment here in his career. As the punt returner. Punt is away. Brian Kelly said he walked up to him this week and said, "Are you nervous?" He said, "No, but you look nervous." There he is on his 30. Cut down at the 34-yard line. 9:41 left until halftime. The Irish in control. Touchdown Jesus on what feels like a perfect afternoon. The final fall weekend. Temperatures in the mid-60s. And the Irish offense back on the field. Chris Tyree makes one miss across the 40. Here comes the speed across the 40, 35, and run out of bounds. Great combo. The offensive line doing its job. And Chris Tyree picking up 32.
A broken record, but Tommy Tremble shifts back into the backfield. He becomes the lead blocker, and he's a great guy to follow.
Glenn Spencer, defensive coordinator.
Wow.
South Florida said, "I'm worried about holding up to the physicality early, and that worry is playing out for him." But there's one of his stars making a play. The linebacker slash safety, they call him Star, Vincent Davis.
Yeah, he plays that position where he's kind of like a rover. He can show up all over the place. Now he's blitzing off the edge. Made a play in the backfield. Hopefully a momentum play for that USF defense.
Notre Dame already 239 total yards. Second down 10. Book. Another nice pocket. Fires. Complete. Little pitch and catch out to the 27-yard line. Third catch of the afternoon for Braden Lenzy. And that's close to a Notre Dame first down. To see where they mark it. And that's a gain of 9.
A little bit short, but again, great job by the offensive line. Just outstanding protection, allowing Ian Book to go through his progression, find the open receiver.
That's middle linebacker, leading tackler last week, Antonio Greer. Glenn Spencer, defensive coordinator, was at FAU last year. He spent time at Oklahoma State, at Duke. It was really fun talking to him. He said, well, going from the Citadel to Notre Dame is like going from the dirt road to the highway.
Yeah, he also said he's still getting to know these guys and getting to know what they do best because they didn't really have spring practice. So he's finding out a lot about his guys in these first 2 weeks.
Third down and 1. Tommy Tremble in the backfield again. Chris Tyree is the tailback. Yeah, they give to Tremble. You're blocking well. Let's give you a little dive.
I love it.
Picks up the first down.
Reward our lead blocker. Does this guy like to play or what?
From the Atlanta area up here to South Bend, I remember his first spring ball. And before the spring game, the coach is talking about you're going to really like Tommy Tremble. Catches, blocks, runs. He's done it all here today.
Last week I was taking a walk around campus and actually met his family, his mom and dad, just super people, and we had a good conversation. They're looking forward to, I'm sure they're here again today.
The select family members allowed in here, 20% capacity. Students get the first crack at it, but family can come as well. First down and 10 from the 22. Empty backfield. Book fires to his right. It's an accurate shot out of the backfield to Kyron Williams. Was a receiver in high school through his sophomore year and shows you his hands as he picks up 6.
Yes, he said he likes to play in the slot, and Ian Book has confidence in him. That is a one-on-one option route. Not a lot of room there, but he trusted his hands, put it in there, and a good throw, good catch.
The first conversation we had with Tommy Reese this season, he said, keep an eye out for 23 in the slot because he catches as well as he runs. Second down 4. Book gives to him, tries to get that corner, cuts it up. Nice job, South Florida defense.
Yes, they stretched it out. Really nowhere to go, but again, just finishing the runs, falling forward, the strength. He talked about going down to 195 from 205, but the leg strength is still there.
Andrew Mims, who came in for the injured Antonio Greer, number 5, is there, as well as the veteran corner KJ Sales. Third down and 3. Kyron Williams remains the tailback. Whistles blow there as Tommy Tremble goes in motion.
USF takes the timeout here.
Timeout. South Florida, their second. 30-second timeout.
And they'll take a timeout on the field. We welcome you up here to the broadcast booth. Paul Burmeister alongside Tony Dungy. You asked for a faster start. Brian Kelly asked for a faster start. The Irish have provided it. What part of it have you liked the most?
I think I've liked Tommy Rees's play calling. We want a fast start. How do we do it? Get some shot plays, get some confidence for Ian Book, and that offensive line has done what I wanted to see early. They have dominated up front.
Yeah, run game, pass game. And Ian Book showing something that he told us he was looking to do as well. Getting to that second and third read in his progression, I think today much better than last week.
And he's probably confident that way because he hasn't really been rushed. The protection has been very, very good.
And feeling very relaxed as any quarterback would when you lead 28-0. 6:09 left until halftime. And they're facing a 3rd down and 3 here. Tommy Tremble has been in the backfield. He's lined up to the right.
But let's look for him and see where he goes and see if he takes us to the ball.
There we go. He's in motion. Kyron Williams across the right side. Tries to get the corner. Is cut down. South Florida defense says, no, you don't. Backup safety there. Michaela Ponce.
Yeah. And this is a great read. He's going to be right here and shoot the gap. Good tackle. Made him go sideways. I'm surprised they didn't run behind Trimble that time. Maybe trying to break some keys.
Jonathan Dorr was a perfect 2 for 2 on field goals last Saturday against Duke. 17 out of 20 a year ago. And this would be good from, or this is an attempt from 38 yards. And there's his first miss of the season. So the Irish fail to score, but they do lead 28-0. Coming up, it's the State Farm Halftime Report. We'll hear from Notre Dame's Dalen Hayes on how he aims to inspire off the field. Jack Collinsworth will have scores and highlights from around the ACC today. Plus, we'll have a preview. Big night coming up on the Ice Stanley Cup Final between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Dallas Stars. It's all coming up on the State Farm Halftime Report. There's big number 9. You saw the C there, one of the captains. You get to know him better at halftime with Jack Collinsworth. South Florida looking to get something going on offense, and it's not going to happen on the first play there. I saw 24 on the pile there once again. Outside linebacker Jack Kaiser.
He's off to a great start, and this is what you like to see when someone gets an opportunity to go in there and take advantage of it and play well, and Jack Kaiser is doing that.
South Florida's coaches, both Jeff Scott and Charlie Weiss Jr. said we need much more from our passing game. Well, right now they have 3 total yards. Noah Johnson works the option to his left, keeps it himself. Isaiah Foskey sprints in to finish it off.
Excellent job by that Notre Dame defense, stretching it, staying disciplined, playing their responsibilities, and Isaiah Foskey, we've seen him make a ton of big plays.
Let's watch number 6, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah shoots through, and now.
And that disrupted the play. He ran through the crack block, made the quarterback not feel safe pitching the ball. That was well done by Jeremiah.
You can tell he threw off the timing of that pitch relationship right away. 3rd down 13 coming up here for Noah Johnson. Looks over to his sideline, gets the play. Play clock down to 4. He's got a hustle. I don't think he sees it. Didn't get it off.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Notre Dame showing them just a little different look than they were expecting to see on 3rd and long. Not wanting Noah Johnson to get going with the run or some type of gimmick play. Had to take a delay of game.
The old college quarterback inside just probably says that should never happen.
You can't do that. Oh, I can hear my coach Tom Moore yelling at me right now. Keep your eye on the play clock.
3rd down 18. Quickly out of his hands, out to Williams, breaks the tackle, almost broke that tackle. And number 26 is a true freshman. Clarence Lewis almost missed, but came up with the low grab. And brings up 4th down and 6.
And they have raved about Clarence Lewis all training camp, that he's just come in as a true freshman, but with moxie and playing with poise. And he's earned this shot to play, and they have a lot of confidence in him.
Yeah, Brian Kelly said his football IQ really came out when the pads came on during that portion of camp. Trent Schneider goes over his head, ball's in the end zone. He is in trouble. Nice job of getting that one away, but it's only out to the 20 and rolls out to the 25. Snap over the head of Trent Schneider.
Yeah. And this is our Australian punter, and he does a great job, kind of a rugby-ish, getting this ball out there.
A good athletic effort for him to get that one off. Don't have the vertical to go up and get it. Does have the wherewithal to boot it out of the end zone. Yeah. Notre Dame's offense, though, is in business. Oh.
Hey there.
Big hit we just saw in the end zone by Jordan Botello. He provided the big hits on Trent Schneider just as he punted that one away, but it goes down to the 25, and that's where the Irish offense finds itself. Little room across the left side, 15. Boy, Kyron Williams just kind of shifting and skating, showing patience and picking his way before Jason Vaughn comes up with a tackle, but that's a gain of 15.
Really, really nice run, and he talked about this to us yesterday, too. He said he wasn't really taking his time and letting his line work last week, and I think this is just a comfortable run of being patient and letting things develop.
You saw who else was in front of him there. Tommy Tremble, of course. Book looks to his left, steps up, fires to the end zone, and too high off the uprights. Avery Davis, who had a touchdown catch last week, intended receiver. You don't often get a ball off the goalpost as a
No, that's hard to do.
It is.
But again, this is a good decision. Throw the ball away, throw it where only your guy can get it or no one will get it.
2nd and 10. Kyron Williams, the tailback, up the middle, across the 5, head down, inside the 1, touchdown.
Yeah, this is just a very, very good run by Kyron Williams. You're going to see him with his vision make a cut and then with the power finish the run. This is an inside run. It's going to get clogged up in here. He's going to bounce it to the outside. Good feet there. And now the power. This is what we've seen all day, Paul. Finishing the run, going forward. We'll check and see.
That knee came down. Boy, that's got a pretty good chance of coming back.
We have to go to our rules expert, Terry McCauley, on this one. This is tough to see, though.
And if they have an obvious shot of that knee going down, which it is right there, we just got it. Great shot from our guys. The ball is clearly short. They'll bring this back and replay it down, or play the next down.
But it does not take away from the run. I am so impressed with how Kyron Williams is finishing these runs going forward, getting extra yardage.
Well, that run was a very good snapshot of what we've seen from the ground game today from Notre Dame. The finish, as you pointed out, but the offensive line giving him a chance to build up some momentum.
And all three of these backs have really been patient enough to look for it, to bounce it, to take the hole where it comes, and not just plow in there and go where it's designed, but find the opening.
You see here once again, watch the knee and the ball. Right about the 1-yard line, they're both down. Every scoring play reviewed, and they're taking a couple extra looks here. And that's the best look, where he appears to be short of the goal line.
Yeah, I think Terry had it. This one will come to the inside the 1. Now,
After further review, the runner was down short of the goal line. The ball would be placed at the half-yard line. 3rd down.
Paul and Tony, one of the things that our guys did really great on this, when I was a referee and went under the hood, when I got shots like that that were so obvious to make a decision on. It was really exciting, and it really helps to get the call right.
Well, they got that one right, Terry. Notre Dame now from just inside the 1-yard line. Kyron Williams remains the tailback, and Tommy Tremble, the tight end slash fullback, is lined up just in front of him. Book quarterback sneak, scored one time already on that play. No signal yet. Touchdown Irish.
And Tommy Tremble is going left again on the quarterback sneak behind his big people, and they're going to capture the line of scrimmage. Just a great double team. Left guard, left tackle, push. And again, that's the veteran crew. Liam Eichenberger and Aaron Banks clearing the way.
Ian Book, reason to smile. He's 10 out of 14 for a $107, has 2 rushing touchdowns. And his team now has a 35-0 lead, 1:55 left until halftime. Above the rest, brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs. This time the focus on the big guys up front.
Yes, we said we want to see them come out aggressively in our pregame, and they certainly did it. Here at down blocks, coming off the left side, Kyron Williams takes advantage. Now watch this line of scrimmage move for Chris Tyree. That is a big pile of massive humanity, and then the pass protection has just been outstanding all day. Ian Book may want to take these guys to Jersey Mike's after the game.
They are allowing Ian Book to accomplish another one of his goals. We talked about getting through progressions. But remember Brian Kelly talked yesterday about my quarterback's got to settle his feet down. A little bit jittery in there. He has looked very calm, as one should, behind that offensive line.
He has, and they have given him confidence that, hey, I'm not going to have to move around. I'm not going to have to scramble around. I can get back, 1, 2, 3, set, look, and find it. And Ian Book is playing very comfortable football right now.
Good look there at Jeff Quinn, the offensive line coach, communicating with his O-line right now. Puts the mask back on. O-line coaches are typically kind of tough to please, but you know deep down in there he feels good about what's happening.
He has to. He really does.
Johnny Ford, backup tailback, goes down at the 23. Right at the top of the broadcast, Jack Collinsworth introduced us to a very familiar name, Charlie Weis Jr., offensive coordinator at the age of 27. A lot of success the last couple years at FAU. He knows this field well. Was on the sidelines with his dad when his dad was the head coach.
Oh, and this has got to be a great feeling for Charlie Jr. to come back into this stadium where he has so much history. I know he would like the game to be going a little bit better right now, but still, this has got to be fantastic for him.
Went to high school here in South Bend and said he was a student coach during the mid-afternoons after school, and after that practice was over, he'd come over here to campus and help his dad. South Florida out to the 28-yard line. Noah Johnson working in tandem with starting quarterback Jordan McLeod. Johnson has been in the majority of the second quarter. There's still nothing going there for this Bulls offense.
Yeah, but a little bit more action with Noah Johnson running the ball and giving them another option.
He glances over to that sideline looking for a card and also for a live signaler. Hands off right up the middle. Dalen Hayes there to wrap up Ford. And the offensive line has gotten a lot of praise from us here in this first half, but the D-line doing its job as well.
They really have, and this is a difficult offense to play against. There's so many things that happen. You've got mobile quarterbacks. You've got options. Sometimes you're not blocked. Misdirection, and everybody's staying at home, reading their keys, doing their job, and it's been good here.
And defensive coordinator Clark Lee told us yesterday, my guys are going to have 4 hours of focus because there's going to be an elite playmaker with the ball, whether it's a quarterback or running back, in his hands every play. 3rd down and 2. Fakes the end around, keeps it himself, tripped up as he reaches across out to the 32-yard line. Middle linebacker Drew White made the stop. And it's showing 4th down and 1.
And this was a good read by Drew White. A lot of misdirection in front of him. Staying square, staying patient. The defensive line keeping people off him and giving him a chance to find the football.
10 seconds now until halftime, and it looks like the Bulls are just going to let those seconds tick off, lick their wounds here a little bit, go in the locker room and see if they can put together a better offensive plan and a defensive one too. Brian Kelly asked his team, probably even pleaded with them for a faster start. Not a fast start for Jordan McLeod. Both teams head to the halftime locker rooms with the Irish leading 35-0. You're watching Notre Dame football on USA. Beautiful day here in South Bend inside Notre Dame Stadium, especially if you're an Irish fan. 35-0. 7th ranked Notre Dame on top of South Florida. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. Paul Burmeister alongside Tony Dungy. We're going to take time to hit both sides of the ball here. Let's start with the offense. You can really pick any facet there and highlight them first.
Yeah, but two things Coach Kelly said he wanted to see. His running backs on the outside zone show a little more patience and read it well. I thought they did that. And then Tommy Reese, I thought, called a great game in the first half, being aggressive, giving Ian Book a chance to make some plays up the field.
Clark Lee's defense playing very well. Also, they pitched a shutout so far.
They did, and they did it with aggressiveness. They wanted to put pressure on their corners to cover and let the front seven play the run, and they did that. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, you see him stack it up here, and the new linebacker forced into play, Jack Kaiser, had an outstanding first half, open field tackles. Their pass defense was outstanding, and once again, Isaiah Foskey with an athletic play and a heady play on that fake punt, chasing the fake punt down.
So, of course, we keep an eye on the score at 35-0, but there's a story within the story for Jeff Scott's Bulls, especially on offensive quarterback. We've seen two play. He wants to have a starting quarterback selected by the first conference game. That's the first week in October against Cincinnati. Not a lot to go on today.
No, but he told us this is a quarterback competition. They really didn't have spring practice, so the first 3 games was going to tell him who his quarterback was going to be. So I think both McLeod and Johnson want to come out in the second half and see who is going to be the better thrower, who can get some passing game going. They're playing for the starting job.
And they told us we have to have a better passing game. We had week 1. It's been even worse. They only have 15 total passing yards so far. Throughout the season, we'll look at the ways Notre Dame students and professors are meeting the needs of today's world. Recent events have shown us that wildfires are an increasing threat to people around the world, from Australia to California and beyond. And last fall, Notre Dame students traveled to Monte, Greece to help address the needs of that community.
We're scoring every time we got the football. We're not letting them score any points. We want a shutout. Yes, sir. Okay? We're playing for a shutout. Okay? This thing is too damn hard. I'm tired of being a nice guy.
Even when you're up 35?
Yeah, and that sounds kind of cruel, but I know who Coach Kelly is talking to. He's talking to his young players who are going to see some time here and saying, hey, we expect you guys to play just the way the first group played. When your turn is to go in, you've got to go in and play Notre Dame football. So I like that.
South Florida with a late entrance to the field here. They're just coming out. We have 1:35 until the second half begins. First half stats, all Irish. Pick a side. Out rushing the Bulls by over 100 yards. Passing yards 15 to 107. Time of possession at all points to Notre Dame dominating so far.
Yeah, and what you don't see there is third down. Third down defense was outstanding for Notre Dame, and they were 7 for 8 on offense, really clicking on those third down plays, those clutch moments.
Outstanding afternoon, sunny, mid-60s, and if I didn't have too much homework today and I was a student, I'd come out and find my way. Enjoy the sunshine, the final weekend of fall. See what the second half can turn into. The fans, student section, 20% capacity, and students get first crack. Every student that wants to come to the game is here. And then the ticket allotment goes to faculty and staff and select family members of both teams, and obviously the band here as well.
And the crowd's been good. The atmosphere and the band always helps that atmosphere, but it's been noticeable.
I was surprised last week for week one with the attendance just over 10,000, how loud it sounded in the good moments.
No, it really was, and I know the players appreciate that. It'd be great to be playing in front of 70,000, but the people who are here have been enthusiastic.
Mid-60s now, but did you have a chance to step outside this morning? It felt like fall is here.
The Florida boy was shivering a little bit this morning. Yes, I wondered how the USF guys would take it when they got up for their morning walk, but then it has warmed up.
Jonathan Dorr did miss his first field goal of the season after going 2 for 2 last week. He is all set to kick off. The Notre Dame defense will come out. You heard Brian Kelly. He said, we are playing for a shutout. Johnny Ford, Terrence Horn deep. This is Johnny Ford. Trying to find that left side. Goes down. The second time we've seen it today. Have a couple of flags come out as Ford went down just before the 20-yard line. Referee today is Marcus Woods.
Doing the return. Illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 18. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Here's Jack Collinsworth.
Yeah, I asked Brian Kelly what stood out from the first time. He said he felt like we scored every time we touched the ball. He singled out Tommy Rees in the way that he was running the football with multiple running backs, getting everybody involved behind that great offensive line, Paul.
Jack, thank you very much, and that plays very well thinking about one of your first comments about the success in the first half, pointing to the play calling of Tommy Rees.
Yeah, I thought Tommy was aggressive, but then he settled into the run game and gave that offensive line a chance to really get a rhythm.
Felt like they could have gone either way with the way the offensive line was playing. They picked a pass, they picked a run. It was all working for Notre Dame offensively and defensively in the first half. Johnny Ford, the tailback. South Florida right to the passing game. Jordan McLeod, completion out to his big wide receiver, Trey Dukes. Tried to get it to him in that first half, and it didn't work. Second half off to a much better start.
Nice ball by Jordan McLeod. Nice rhythm. He saw off coverage, got it out there. And again, Trey Dukes, they feel like he has outstanding ability.
Certainly has outstanding size. 6'4", 218, graduate student.
He looks the part.
First and 10 now. McLeod rolls out to his right. Drew White in pursuit. Drills him as he got rid of it. Nice job getting it to his tight end. Mitchell Brinkman, the transfer from Northern Illinois. So McLeod starts out 2 for 2.
Yeah. This is well played by both sides. Drew White mirroring. Drew White's there mirroring the quarterback, but then coming off to his third read and coming backside with the ball. Very nice job by McLeod.
Mitchell Brinkman, 45 career catches at Northern Illinois. Now to the ground game for the first time of this half. Nothing going right up the middle. John Crawford, the safety there, right behind middle linebacker Drew White.
And once again, Drew, just the defensive line is keeping him clean. He's staying patient, finding the football.
Gain of only 1. Back to the air, quick release out to the left. Second time they've had success right there. And right back to Trey Dukes. He has a couple of early catches here to start this second half. That's a gain of 8.
And again, the off coverage, the freshman playing patient, understanding he doesn't want to get beat deep. He'll make them prove that they can throw the ball like this and go downfield. Big third down here for the USF offense now.
That true freshman Tony talked about, number 26, Clarence Lewis. Johnny Ford, the tailback, on 3rd down and 1. He takes it, scoots through the middle, and that's enough for a first down. Picks up 2. Small steps here for the Bulls, considering that they're down 35-0, but second half often moving in the right direction.
Dalen Hayes here. Watch this. Oh, that is what these backs can do. That's a good football player, Dalen Hayes. He made him miss right in the hole.
You might hear about that a little bit. Film session. First down and 10 now from the 47. McLeod, nice pocket, lifts one to his right and falls short. They were working on that true freshman corner, Clarence Lewis, and they look for looking down the left side.
This is well done by Clarence Lewis, and this is what the coaching staff has talked about. This young man plays with poise. He's running, understands the timing, looks back for the ball, didn't just panic and run into the receiver. He played his eyes. That is well done by a young freshman corner.
Been well coached somewhere along the way. Second down 10. McLeod keeps it himself, jumps, gets rid of it. And South Florida now will be working inside of Irish territory. Second catch on this drive for Mitchell Brinkman.
And this is really good. This is what Jeff Scott wants to see over there. They had a bad first half, but playing with poise, executing their offense now. And McLeod has made a couple of really nice plays under duress.
Isaiah Foskey almost got to him. Kelly Joyner met in the backfield and brought down before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Jacob Lacey and Drew White there.
Yes, and this is a good play by Lacey, splitting the double team, coming through, getting penetration, getting that running back before he gets started.
Notre Dame played 11 defensive linemen in the first half last week. Getting a look now at some of the depth there on that front. Kelly Joyner, the tailback, to the left of McLeod on fourth down and 2. Fighting and gets out to the 42-yard line. And they do give him enough for a first down.
Design quarterback run. I don't think this was a read. This was McLeod, Jordan McLeod all the way. Got a nice pin block by his tight end, Chris Carter. Just enough to get the first down.
Best drive yet for South Florida here to begin the second half. Joyner, and he is met by Jack Kaiser, backup linebacker, forced into a big role today.
Jack Kaiser is playing ball today, Paul. He is playing like a veteran. If you didn't know he was a third teamer, they have not missed a beat. He's on his keys, and he's finding the football.
The two linebackers in front of him, Shane Simon, unavailable. Maris Leofau also unavailable, so Jack gets a big spot here this afternoon. Second down 10 now for Jordan McLeod. Steps up, has room to keep it. Sheds one tackler across the 40. And Drew White almost got him. Good hard run in there. We were told that his backup, Noah Johnson, was the better running quarterback, but McLeod gets 6.
Yeah, this time they bring Jack Kaiser on a blitz, and Drew White is going to be free here. Just can't wrap up on the tackle. Good athleticism by Jordan McLeod, making something happen.
You hear the crowd rise up a little bit here. Third down and 4 from the Irish 36. Quick fire. That ball was tipped before it got to its intended receiver. And they just went for it on fourth down and 2. Would imagine the same coming here on fourth and 4.
And last time it was a quarterback run. We'll see what they draw up here for Jordan McLeod. Good job. Who is that getting their hands up again?
Jacob Lacey.
Jacob Lacey.
Fourth down and 4. South Florida needs to get to the 32. McLeod steps up in the middle, drilled as he got rid of it, almost intercepted. Freshman Clarence Lewis got his hands on it. And Notre Dame's offense will take over.
Yes, Jordan McLeod almost with a great play. He's actually going to have his receiver coming open, and he just can't get it in front of him. But Clarence Lewis makes a great play. Vision on the ball. That's what they said, ball skills.
South Florida's offense had a little bit of success, but it'll be Notre Dame's offense when we come back. What an afternoon here. Final weekend of summer in South Bend, and it's nice to be up here in the press box, Tony. We can see a lot of these sites and look out and see a lot of the green and the blue skies.
It is an amazing atmosphere. Just something about being on the Notre Dame campus. Sunshiny day, couldn't be better.
A little over 10,000 last week. Feels like about the same kind of number here today on a sun-baked afternoon where the Irish lead 35-0. First possession here of the second half. And this is the freshman Chris Tyree breaking tackles and hard running out to the 48-yard line of South Florida.
This was a jet sweep. USF had it played well, but Chris Tyree stepping out of that tackle, making something happen.
Chris Tyree, one of the Irish runners with a touchdown run in that first half. First down and 10 now, just inside of Bull territory. Kyron Williams, the tailback, off the left side, cuts it back, and South Florida's defense that time provides him nowhere to go. Brock Nichols with the tackle. Top three running backs. That is a pretty solid first half.
It really is, and we talked about it in the open. We wanted to see this offensive line dominate. They have done it, but all the backs getting involved and all being a little bit more patient than they were the first week, finding the holes.
They outrushed South Florida 172-50 in the first. To the air now. Ian Book lifts one to the right. Going to be way too much for Javon McKinley.
Bringing the pressure here, and this is one time Ian Book had to throw relatively quickly, wasn't on target with it. Glenn Spencer bringing the heat. Looked like just a little miscommunication there with McKinley on the route. I think Book thought he was going to turn it up.
We haven't seen Ian Book or Tommy Reese in this situation much here today. Third down and long, and they've had so much success in first and second down. Third down and 10. He has a trio of wideouts to his right. South Florida rushes only 3, firing across the middle, complete. And that's Tommy Tremble. That extra effort might have gotten him that first down.
I believe it did, and he went right to the sticks, knew where he had to get, and then fought for the first down.
It's been a theme for him today, no matter what he's doing, that extra effort in that fight.
Zone coverage, he just sits it down, and now he knows where the first down marker is, and that last little lean got it.
Injured South Florida player on the field.
Maybe didn't get it. Okay.
We're back to South Bend right after this. And former teammate of Tony Dungy, and number 5 for South Florida, starting middle linebacker Antonio Greer. He was down for a moment, but did walk off the field. This is 4th down and 1 for Notre Dame. Kyron Williams, the tailback. Another hole. Ball comes out. Forced fumble. And we'll take a look and see. Yeah, the Irish got back on that ball. First down. Nice job, offensive line.
Another good, strong power run going behind the 2 tight ends. And again, Kyron Williams finishing the run, but as he finished, the ball came out.
Jared Patterson, center, snapped the ball to start, pounced on it to end. Notre Dame 1st and 10 from the South Florida 35. Well, that's finishing a run if you hang on to the ball.
Yeah. Well, if I'm the running back coach, I'm excited about the leverage, the power. We'll work on holding the ball. He'll get that part.
Kyron Williams, ACC running back of the week, 21 touches, 205 yards against Duke a week ago. And he's taking a rest right now momentarily. 1st and 10 Irish, South Florida 35. Book, play action. Steps up. Lifts it to the left side. Open man once again. Did not come up with a catch. That's Tommy Tremble. Had his hands on it. Ruled incomplete.
Just a little bit underthrown. Tommy Tremble on a wheel route. Sideline and go. He's going to go outside and up the field. He's got a step. and the ball is just a little underthrown. He has to come back for it. Good. Just it looks like he's got it both feet in. Does he hold it all the way? He's got this ball in bounds if he didn't juggle it. The official called him out, but I think he has it in possession.
Pass is on the further review.
I think he's got possession of it, both feet actually, in bounds.
So this is Jason Vaughn, defensive end, who's on him. So Tommy Tremble grabs it. Now they both end up with their hands on it. Let's bring in our rules analyst, Terry McCauley. Terry, what do you see here?
Thanks, Paul. He gets firm control immediately when it comes in and gets a body part down, which he needs to do, and maintains control all the way to the ground. It doesn't matter that the defender at some point also put his hands on the ball. This ball belongs to the receiver, and it is a catch and should be reversed to Notre Dame catch.
And this is one of those rules, Terry, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it does come down to maintaining control. And it looks like, even though Vaughn has his hands on it, as you pointed out, he maintains control the entire time.
He does, Paul. He's going to the ground. He doesn't have time to perform an act common to the game before he goes to the ground, but he never loses control. That's as firm a grip and control as you're going to see. So this is clearly a catch and will be reversed.
That's great strong hands by Tommy Tremble there.
Tremble had 5 receptions last week. He's been a receiver, he's been a blocker, he's been a rusher so far today.
Coach Kelly wasn't kidding in the locker room. He is going to keep the hammer down. He is not pulling back. He wants to score every drive, and he wants to shut him out. Went for it on 4th down and then taking the ball up the field. But I've been impressed with Tommy Tremble, and they threw around George Kittle. Several guys said that, and you see it. You see the same enthusiasm, the same demeanor blocking, and the versatility catching the football up the field in traffic. This guy is really a good football player.
2 receptions right now. We'll see if he adds a 3rd here when Marcus Woods, the referee, is ready to communicate with us, and he is.
As a further review, the receiver got a foot in bounds. We have a catch. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
And Tony, you and Terry had that one pegged.
Yeah, I thought he might have possibly bobbled it or it came loose when he hit the ground, but no, he maintained it all the way, and I thought that was just well done to reverse it, yes.
So that gives the Notre Dame offense 1st down and goal from the 8-yard line. It gives Tremble 3 catches for 60 yards, makes him the leading receiver in this game, and you can see 24 lining up just behind number 89, the other tight end.
We got a 3 tight end package in.
Chris Tyree is the tailback. Book steps up and misses. Somewhere between Tyree and Wright is where that ball went.
I don't know if we have the ISO on Tommy Tremble again. He's running a route and he ran over a linebacker. He just demolished the USF linebacker on that play. Watch it go in motion here. Now this is a pass play, Paul. Keep in mind, this is not a run, but watch Tommy Tremble. Is he fun to watch? Now, Terry might say that might be offensive pass interference.
Tremble in the backfield is the fullback. Tyree, the tailback, has it off the left side. Wrapped up at the 5-yard line. I remember in a meeting last year when then offensive coordinator Chip Long, who's now coaching in Tennessee, said Tommy Tremble was the most physical player they had on offense. And I remember writing that down and thinking, huh.
Well, let's watch him here on the lead block. They motion him back into the backfield, where now he becomes like the fullback, and this is just a fullback ISO lead block. Lower the shoulder pads, play with energy and leverage.
Chris Tyree is checked out. You can see 23 there, the tailback to the left of Ian Book. 3rd and goal from the 5. Looks to the end zone. Fires that way. And the ball is broken up before it could get to the hands of Joe Wilkins.
And this is a nice read. He goes to the right guy just a little bit late and underthrown. This is just timing, but good decision. Just got to get it out in front of him. Wilkins had to slow down. The ball bounces right off the
helmets. Marquis Lapointe. That's a throw. Ian Book will want back if he gets that one up a little bit higher to the back pylon there.
Proper read, everything good. Just got to deliver the ball on target.
Jonathan Dorr 0 for 1 on field goals so far today. This an attempt from 22 yards out. No problem for Jonathan Dorr. 6:34 left in the 3rd quarter. Notre Dame increases its lead to 38-0. Tea time out there.
Yeah, looks beautiful.
Jonathan Dorr just made a field goal to make it 38-0 from 22 yards out. Kickoff to the 9. And this is Johnny Ford out to the 30-yard line. Clark Lee talked to us yesterday, said we need better attention to detail. We need 4 hours of focus. He doesn't look it right now, but I would imagine he's pretty happy.
I think he is happy. And, you know, they have dominated the game, Notre Dame defensively, but this is a tough offense to play. We've seen what some of these running backs can do if they get a hole, and that's what Clark talked to us about. Let's be disciplined the whole way. We gave up some big plays last week just by not focusing, so he wants to see 20 more minutes of attention to detail.
I thought our entire conversation with him yesterday paid just giant compliments to the playmakers for South Florida, because he acknowledged up front they're going to struggle, but he was still worried about tackling these backs and receivers. McLeod still in the game, dodges some trouble out across the 35 and 40. This will be a 1st down. South Florida finally run out of bounds by Jack Lamb.
And that's just what Coach Lee was talking about. If you make a mistake, they have the ability to make you pay. Jordan McLeod has a free rusher right in his face, steps up, makes a miss. Notre Dame's playing man coverage, so there's no one home after the miss.
Patello there was that free rusher. And 1st down and 10 for the Bulls, 42-yard line of Notre Dame. Jordan McLeod started at quarterback for South Florida. We've seen a little bit of Noah Johnson, but it has been mostly McLeod. Joyner up across to the 42-yard line. Justin Adamiola with the tackle. Jack Lamb also there, so there's Noah Johnson. Limited time there in the 1st half. He went 1 out of 2 for 12 yards. Had 4 carries for 9. South Florida in the midst of a quarterback competition. Jeff Scott wants to pick out a starter between these two by the 1st week in October. McLeod in rhythm there. There's a strike. Across the 50-yard line, Trey Dukes inside of Irish territory.
Same play we saw in the 1st half, and he missed an open receiver on the RPO slant. This time, they get the linebacker's help. He delivers it. Dukes with the big body, making the catch.
In rhythm just in front of freshman cornerback Clarence Lewis. 1st and 10 now from the 43. Fake to Kelly Joyner. Steps up into a nice pocket. Launches to the end zone. Ball batted around. Almost picked off by safety DJ Brown. KJ Wallace and Clarence Lewis there as well.
And they had what they were looking for. Yes. This is quarters coverage. This is basically man-to-man. And they said they wanted to take a shot to Latrell Williams, that he had speed. Clarence Lewis, he is looking for the ball all the way. And this is what the Notre Dame coaches said about this young man. He doesn't panic. He plays with poise. He plays like a veteran. Well done.
2nd down 10. McLeod in trouble. Just gets rid of it. Good job getting rid of it. And a completion. But he was drilled.
Jack Lamb on the blitz. The RPO running back couldn't pick him up. And you'll see him. He's going to hit it right here. Joyner, the back, takes the play fake and doesn't pick him up. Well delivered by McLeod again.
Moala with the coverage and the tackle to bring up 3rd down and 6. South Florida also on the last possession drove the ball inside of Notre Dame territory, but the drive stalled. McLeod goes down, wrapped up in the pocket, and he's dropped. Alexander Ahrensberger, backup defensive lineman.
You're going to see a little pass rush here, and in these obvious pass situations, Notre Dame has an advantage rushing the passer.
First sack of that young man's career.
And he was excited about it.
From Dusseldorf, Germany. Second time we've seen this today. A snap over the punter. It's blocked, rolling inside the 10. Scooped up on the 2-yard line. And a big man touchdown here for Notre Dame. Jordan Botello, defensive lineman.
He almost got it earlier in the game on the snap over the head. He hit the punter. This time he ends up being the recipient.
Now, he's been in our highlights today, but nothing like this. The second time, punt snap over the head, and now the trouble really begins. And right now he can feel the touchdown.
And he's trying to get it and roll in. And a little spin for emphasis.
I wonder if he's practiced that one. Picks up a heavily spinning ball. Maybe he wasn't in.
Might be down. He might be down.
See if the whistles blow.
Officiating is going to give it to him, but it looked like his knee hit before he got in the end zone.
Jonathan Dorr up and in. Special teams touchdown for the Irish makes it 45-0. Fun one coming up tomorrow night. Cam Newton and the New England Patriots at Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Football Night in America kicks it off. 7 o'clock Eastern, only on NBC. That is tomorrow night. Here at Notre Dame Stadium, Irish leading South Florida 45-0. Jordan Botello, special teams today. The first time South Florida snapped a punt over, or snapped it over the punter's head, he was in the end zone to rush the punt, and then this time the punt over the head, he scoops it up eventually in the 1-yard line and scores his first touchdown. South Florida will begin on its own 20-yard line. Game break, Georgia Tech playing host to Central Florida. To the ground game they go. This is Greg McCray, untouched until he gets inside the 10-yard line, easily into the end zone. And Central Florida up on Notre Dame's opponents on October 31st. That is Georgia Tech. That score 21-7 in the second quarter. We are 45-0. Irish on top of South Florida. Here's what Notre Dame, Brian Kelly, looking forward to here. They're moving their way to being 2-0. At Wake Forest next week, an off week, and then they're back here in South Bend. Primetime game on NBC against Florida State.
And Noah Johnson back in, Paul.
All right, the backup quarterback misfires. And during the week, Charlie Weiss Jr. told us he actually has the better arm, but not as refined a passer as Jordan McLeod.
But he feels like Charlie said he gives them more of the dual threat, and he can call more of their designed quarterback runs with Johnson.
And we've talked about Jeff Scott having these two quarterbacks in a quarterback competition, and more on that. We'll check out this play here. And there's the running ability. Johnson out near the 25-yard line. But he's talked about, hey, by the fourth game, I want to make a decision. And there's a reason for that. When he was at Clemson, Deshaun Watson won the job when he was young in the fourth game of the season. Yes. Trevor Lawrence a couple years ago beat out Kelly Bryant in that fourth game of the season. So that's why he's picked out 4. And he's aiming for that for the conference opener at Cincinnati. Third down and 6 now for Johnson. Looks to his left, stays there, lifts one down the sideline here, and that's too much for Trey Dukes. Coverage from Isaiah Rutherford, cornerback, sophomore cornerback out of Sacramento for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and he's getting a chance to play today and did a good job on Dukes. He was off, thought there was going to be a quick pass, came into a bump and run position, forced the fade, and ran with him.
Timeout on the field with Notre Dame leading 45-0. That's Kyle Hamilton, sleeveless, the star safety, the sophomore for the Notre Dame defense, ankle sprain, and he is out today. So, Tony, I don't know how often or how early you played when you were a quarterback in Minnesota, but on days like this, when the score is out of hand, a lot of young players, a lot of backup players have that helmet on and can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, and this is the time you do. You want to go in and show what you can do. I remember playing early on my 18th birthday against Nebraska. They were number 3 in the country. It was 49-7. It wasn't pretty, but I did score a touchdown that day, and it's something you'll always remember.
Quarterback sneak, did you have to make some people miss? No, it was
an option. I ran around, actually, John Dutton, who ended up being a great player with the Baltimore Colts, and just a tremendous effort to get the ball in the end zone.
Very good. I'm sure that was a good highlight. Love to see it there sometime.
I might have embellished that a little bit.
Cool production of this broadcast today. We'll get to that in a moment here. This is 4th down and 6, a little quick pooch punt. And the ball rolls out to the 41-yard line. That's where the Irish offense will begin. So right here inside the stadium, here at Notre Dame Stadium, Fighting Irish Media Studios. Tony, I don't know if you've been down there, but it is a wonderful high-class production. And NBC is working with Fighting Irish Media here today. And what is just a terrific gesture how strong that relationship is. NBC and FIM putting this one on. There's a look inside. There's Rob Highland, our producer, and waving now. Here, Musa, our director, long time leaders here of this broadcast. I know they're happy to be working with Fighting Irish Media here this afternoon. First and 10. We do have a quarterback change here for Notre Dame. And number 10 is Drew Pine. Now, Drew is normally the 3rd-string quarterback, but the backup, Brendan Clark, was listed on the unavailable list that came out this morning. So Drew Pine, true freshman out of New Canaan, Connecticut, playing for the very first time today.
And you know he has to be pumped up. This is a great opportunity for him to go in and lead the team, and probably wasn't expecting this.
The day has turned out differently than he thought when he went to bed last night. First pass is complete. So Drew Pine, a little bit under 6 feet, out of New Canaan, Connecticut, and he committed to Notre Dame early in his high school career. Full disclosure, he's from the town right next to me in Connecticut, so I've heard about him, known of him from a powerhouse high school that ran the ball a lot. So a lot of these quarterbacks you see that have giant numbers out of high school, Drew didn't have those attached to his name because they won on the ground quite a bit, but was terrific on the summer camp circuit and got that early offer from Notre Dame and committed right away.
If that first pass was any indication, he was right on the money with a good decision.
Back to the air, steps up, keeps it himself, and gets out to the 49-yard line. Saw Ian Book on the sideline. Efficient outing for Ian as he watches and I'm sure cheers on Drew Pine. 12 out of 19, 143. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but he did have a couple of touchdown runs. I always like seeing the veteran quarterbacks out there actively coaching and just invested in the development of the young players.
Absolutely. That speaks to the type of player Ian Book is. And he and Sean Crawford both talked about it yesterday, about being the leaders, the veteran guys, and being back and being so excited to be here with this team.
Punt is away, and by the way, Ian Book and Sean Crawford, 5th and 6th year players, roommates.
Yes, yeah, and they talk about how special it is to be here and playing. They want to play for a national championship.
Sean said, we have a love-hate relationship at practice, so when we get home, we don't like to talk about football. I'm trying to pick him off. He's trying to work the ball by me, so we hang out and talk about different things.
And they are definitely the veterans of the group. The other defensive players were kidding us that when Sean Crawford was a freshman here, this freshman class was in the 7th grade. So
that's right.
He is definitely the big brother.
It's fun talking to Sean yesterday about not only his relationship with Ian there, but as a graduate student, his business course load did not sound easy at all. Big hit in the backfield, but wrong guy with the ball. Botello again scores a touchdown. He's all fired up. Big hit. And that'll be the final play of the third quarter. Botello scored a touchdown on special teams earlier. He's pumped up and comes up with a big hit to end the third quarter. Where is 17? Well, there's the big hit out there. We head to the fourth with the Irish on top by 45. Quarterback Tariq Bracy unavailable today. Opportunity Clarence Lewis.
Yeah, and the coaches were excited to see this young man play, and here you can see some of his skills. Open field tackle, the coverage part, they talked about him just being poised and never panicking, and the ball skills. Here he's got his eye on the ball all the way, getting his hands on footballs, making plays.
See some length out there. 6'1", 180 young corner. South Florida, there's a successful passing play. They haven't had a whole lot of that yet. Out across the 25, first down. So there's Clarence Lewis, 6'1", 180, true freshman out at Edison, New Jersey. And both Brian Kelly, head coach, and defensive coordinator Clark Lee talked about the maturity that jumped out not only in training camp, but the first time they started recruiting him.
Yeah, and they said when he got here, he looked like a corner. He didn't have to learn the position. He played it instinctively.
Not easy to show up on campus at a program like Notre Dame and act like you belong. There's some young players doing that here right now. Off the back foot. This is Latrell Williams. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did. Nice catch for the former Tennessee Volunteer.
Yes, he's a transfer. They didn't play him too much last week, but they said he was a guy that could make some shot plays for them. And this is a great catch over the shoulder, dragging that foot to keep it in bounds.
Well-placed football, too. That was Cam Hart's backup cornerback for Notre Dame. And that one is just grounded. Big Isaiah Foskey giving chase to Noah Johnson.
Isaiah just continues to show up. He's an instinctive guy. He's an athlete. They talked about him playing fast and being aggressive and just being able to run things down. Very good athlete with a lot of size and skill.
Quite a compliment to the defensive end position here at Notre Dame when you can lose two to the NFL draft and the top backup and come back and be this strong at that position. Under pressure as Johnson gets it away. Nice work. Great job to avoid the sack. Houston Griffith with the pursuit there to run Terrence Horn out of bounds.
And Coach Clark Lee bringing the blitz inside, disrupting this play-action pass game.
And that's Jack Kaiser.
All these young guys, when they're getting their opportunities, they are making things happen.
And Jack Kaiser's played very well. He's automatically a story because he was third string earlier this week. And Simon and Leofow unavailable, so all of a sudden he's the starter. Of course, we were going to point that out right away, but on his own, he's been in these highlights and showing up for the entire game.
You would notice him. Yes, you would.
Third down and 14 now. Johnny Ford around the left. He's got a first down and then some out across the 25 and eventually run out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Good pursuit there by backup safety, the former Ohio State Buckeye, Isaiah Pryor.
And this is jet sweep. Johnny Ford, running back, who he's asking for a horse collar tackle, but he's coming on the jet sweep and just with the speed. And this is what the Notre Dame coaches said. If we don't have our focus, if we're not on our details every play, these skill position guys have enough speed to make plays.
Yeah, no matter who the starting quarterback is that first week in October, this offense probably lean on Kelly Joyner and also that man we just saw there, Johnny Ford. They were both awarded the players of the game last week for the 27-6 win over the Citadel. Johnson now to his right, looking. Fires near the end zone, and the ball broken up there. Cam Hart steps in to get a hand on it. Aerial coverage is brought to you by Geico. What an afternoon here on the Notre Dame campus. Mid-60s, sunshine, not even really any wind, Tony. It's about as good as it gets for college football, at least weather-wise.
No, this has been a beautiful day, and the fans, we've got about 10, 11,000 fans really taking advantage of it.
20% capacity allowed this season. Had a little over 10,000 last week. Looks to be about the same now. Fade pass to the end zone, and saw a lot of grabbing down there. I don't see any flags. You're the former DB up here. What'd you see?
I've been thinking offensive pass interference all the way here. Latrell Williams push up. Well, no. Both guys. I guess good no call, Terry. Both guys grabbing a little bit.
You could either call both or neither.
Or let it go.
But neither is best in this situation.
There you go, Terry. Latrell Williams for South Florida and Isaiah Rutherford, the corner for Notre Dame. 3rd down and 10 now for Noah Johnson.
In the South Florida timeout, Notre Dame was going to bring the heat again and play straight man coverage.
Timeout. South Florida, they're second.
Brian Kelly will ponder what's coming next.
He wants to shut him out. We know that.
Still has it right now. Aerial coverage is brought to you by Geico. Inside Notre Dame Stadium today, the Irish awfully close to achieving their 20th consecutive victory. They've been in control from the start. Early in the 4th quarter, they lead South Florida 45-0. Paul Burmeister and Tony Dungy in the booth. On the field, we have Jack Collinsworth. 3rd down and 10 now for the Bulls.
Coming, and it's a straight man coverage on the outside.
Off the back foot, flung into the end zone. And the blitz doesn't have to come up with the sack to make the play happen.
Yeah, and they did not change. Before the timeout, they were coming, and Coach Lee stayed with it. He's bringing pressure right up inside, making Noah Johnson throw it quick off his back foot, trying to give his receiver a chance. What do you think about the PI there, Terry? Looked like defensive pass interference.
Clearly pass interference, Coach. He is significantly hindering. Obvious intent to impede. That should have been a defensive pass interference on that one.
That was just a tackle.
And this looks like the same defense.
See if Notre Dame comes again. They're showing it.
Yep, same blitz.
Same one. Noah Johnson in trouble, out to his left. Jump pass, back of the end zone, knocked away at the last minute. Well played, Cam Hart.
So that was Brian Kelly being aggressive. He said he wanted to shut out. He brought the all-out blitz 2 times in a row. Kept him out of the end zone.
Clark Lee saying you're trying to score. We're going to do our best to stop you from it. This is DJ Brown. He's getting a lot of time today with Kyle Hamilton out with that ankle injury.
And that was really an athletic throw and giving his receiver a chance, but well played. Well played. Shame, though, they didn't get the pass interference called. Should have had the ball 1st down.
True freshman out of New Canaan, Connecticut. Drew Pine remains the quarterback. This is his 2nd series. Sebo Flemister out across the 20-yard line.
I've been impressed with the way Sebo's run the ball today. He didn't get to play last week, and he is not sulking. He is coming back and saying, okay, I'm going to show you that I need to get the ball a little bit more. And that's what you need to do.
A couple of flags down there on the play. It's true freshman receiver Jordan Johnson out of St. Louis talking to, or I guess I should say listening to, Brian Kelly.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 15. After distance to the goal, 2nd down.
So 15 is the one we're looking at. Goes down to a knee. And a little extra at the end. Yes.
No, you can't do that. You've got to keep your poise. He actually had a good block, stayed with his man, took him down, but you can't have it after the whistle.
You know, he didn't play last week, and Brian Kelly said it wasn't a physical thing. We're just working on him with all of his traits. And not a good moment for him there. Sebo Flemister, touchdown in the 1st half, and hard running here in the 4th quarter. Out across the 20. Interesting scenario in the running back room right now because you have some upperclassmen running backs like Sibo Flemister, Jameer Smith, who's not playing today, Jafar Armstrong, watching these talented young backs get the carries that you would like to have.
No question about it. That's tough. But what you have to do is when your number's called, deliver. And that's what Sibo's doing today. And he's sending a message to the coaches. Yeah, I need to get the ball a little bit.
And there we saw those two on the sideline, Tyree and Williams, 18 carries today for 127 yards. Drew Pine to his right, and he just missed.
And good job by USF on defense there. Sitting down at the first down sticks, taking away that easy throw.
Drew Pine will jog off, and what an afternoon for him getting his first couple of series. And Brian Kelly sharing with him what he did or maybe didn't do. Jay Bramlett from his own 12-yard line high. And a fair catch called for. The ball bounces, and South Florida will begin on its own 43-yard line. 10:45 left in the game. Notre Dame in control. Florida State coach Mike Norvell announced today that he has tested positive for COVID-19 and is quarantining. Deputy head coach Chris Thomason will serve as an interim coach while Norvell is away. Rich history between the Seminoles and the Fighting Irish going back to the early and mid-90s. And Brad Scott was the offensive coordinator for Florida State when the Seminoles came up here in '93, and it was 1-2. And we talked to his son, the head coach now, Jeff Scott, said he really wanted to be here that day, but he was pressed to the TV.
Disappointed because it was a long trip and he didn't get to travel, and he was almost in tears when that last pass fell incomplete and Notre Dame won.
But then it ended up working out for Florida State because the Irish lost shortly thereafter, and that ball was overthrown. Penalty marker comes in, and Florida State went on to win it all.
Yeah, it was Charlie Ward and a young man who played for me. Ward Dunn was a freshman that year, and Derek Brooks was on that team as well. So yeah, I have some memories of that team as well.
Defense number 15. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
And Jeff Scott, when we talked to him this week, talked a lot about his experience at Florida State, not just with his father being there, but about how Bobby Bowden allowed the kids on the sidelines. He's like, I ran out of the tunnel with the Seminoles. Other coaches' kids did the same, and that's the kind of family atmosphere they also had at Clemson, and he wants to bring here to South Florida.
And he is doing that. I was at practice, and obviously it's different now with the COVID restrictions, but that's what he's getting to, and he wants to bring that climate there, and then they're going to be very, very good, I believe. I think Jeff Scott is the right man for this job.
New quarterback for South Florida is Catravis Marsh, freshman. Fires that one away, and you saw him in practice, and we talked Tuesday right after you were there, and one of the first things you shared was, hey, this number 12 can throw it.
I watched, he was actually running the scout team, running Notre Dame's plays, and I said, wow, who is that? And Coach Scott told me, hey, he's going to remind you of Dante Culpepper. He's a big, strong guy, very accurate. He threw the ball well. I'm anxious to see what he does today.
Hands off this time. Irish defense in the backfield, and what an afternoon for Jack Kaiser.
I've been super impressed with Jack. He is playing loose. He's not playing like I'm worried about making a mistake. He's flying to the football, and he has been super productive.
4th down and 5. Catravis Marsh, who was at one point a Utah commit. Went to high school near Miami, lost one to the right side, and nowhere near an intended receiver.
Miscommunication there. He saw different coverage than his receiver. He thought it was going to be a fade.
9:15 left in the game, and up by 45. The Irish offense back on the field after this. That's Tommy Rees on the right. He is the first-year offensive coordinator for Notre Dame. His offense has had a wonderful day. Notre Dame leads 45-0. In our conversation with him yesterday, we thought we were done. He said, hey, guys, can I tell you one more thing? I want to tell you this. My grandmother, Peggy, right there, who's 92, we surprised her late this week with letting her know we were going to provide a trip here to Notre Dame Stadium for her. She hasn't been back to the stadium since I played, and he was so excited. It was really the biggest smile he had in our entire conversation talking about Peggy taking this game in.
It was great to hear that from him. It's great for her to be here, and I don't know how superstitious Tommy is, but he might want to have Grandma here next week.
Good point. She would probably be happy to come back and enjoy a day like this. Sibo Flemister, the tailback, one touchdown already today, and Drew Pine, number 10 there right next to him. True freshman quarterback, and the score, of course, 45-0 would suggest that the backups are in, but he's in a little bit earlier than he thought he would be. Normal backup quarterback Brendan Clark unavailable today. So as soon as Ian Book went out, and Ian played very well, Drew Pine came in. Book 12 out of 19, 143. No interceptions, and also 2 rushing touchdowns today.
And this is really, really good experience and good time for Drew Pine to just get a feel of what it's like to be out there.
Quick cut out to the outside, then back up the middle, and close to a first down. And it's probably the same for all the positions, but especially as a quarterback, you just wonder, what's it going to be like to get under center? What's it going to be like to call a play in the stadium? And after it comes, and it's normally in a situation like this, life just feels different after you've actually been out there.
It is. It is a big, big difference from doing it in practice to doing it in the stadium and doing it with these guys. And Drew probably hasn't had a lot of work with some of these guys because he's been the third quarterback. So this will be really good for him.
Third down and 1. Hands off up the middle and stuffed to Sibo Flemister. Great extra effort, little spin and some fight.
I'm telling you,
the first down.
I'm impressed with all of these Notre Dame backs. The drive, the after contact yardage that they're getting. This should not be a first down. He is hit right in the hole, spins, keeps the legs going, dives, and makes it. That was a very, very good effort.
Look at this, total offensive yards. And Tommy Rees and Ian Book, they told us they're close, but hey, Ian just passed him in total yards for third place all time.
Do you think there'll be a comment about that in the meeting?
Probably a laugh, yeah. Tommy doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would be too upset about it. Pine hands off once again. Yeah. Ian Book today, I said his numbers, Tony, 12 out of 19. What did he look like?
Well, I thought he did the things that they wanted to see. They wanted to see him sit in the pocket, go through his progressions. He did it here, nothing there, moves out, comes down to his outlet receiver. Once again, scan the field, take it. First option, second option, not there. Come to the third option, and he stayed in the pocket and did that. Now, of course, it's easy to stay in the pocket when you're getting that type of protection, but he did the things that Coach Kelly wanted to see. He had relaxed feet, and I thought he just saw the field very well today.
And that was the first comment out of Brian Kelly's mouth when we talked to him yesterday. I asked him, okay, you won last week. What's the one thing you really want to see better? And Flemister, well inside of South Florida territory. Sprint around the right side inside the 25-yard line. And the Notre Dame running backs, 1 through 4. Jameer Smith not playing today, so Flemister the fourth, and he has had a nice second half. He also had a touchdown in the first.
And this, again, is that outside zone. Stay with it. Be patient. Good blocking at the point of attack. Well done.
Once an offense really gets into its groove, how many running backs can you play? New quarterback in now for Notre Dame. And that's J.D. Carney, a senior out of San Diego. Well, it's fun to watch a true freshman play, but I love seeing the upperclassmen who don't get to play much get in. See if he gets a carry. This is another one for Flemister across the 20 and 15. Head down. Strong finish down near the 10-yard line.
And wouldn't this be great for J.D. if he's looks like just one play. So they got him a snap. That's good for him.
So Drew Pine comes right back in. And in at tailback now, Jafar Armstrong. talked about Flemister and his battle. There's JD. Get the headset and the hat right back on.
But, Paul, you were talking about the running backs, and it's almost like Coach Scott said about his quarterback competition. This is running back competition. Hey, we're not going to be able to play 4, 5, 6 guys as we get along further. So who really deserves the carries?
Armstrong going hard across the 10, hit low, and makes it to the 5-yard line. Once an offense really gets going in the conference games, how many backs can you have in that rotation?
In college game is a little different. You can have 3 for sure. 4, I would think, would be a little difficult. But you can roll 3 guys through there, and Notre Dame has done that today very effectively.
Number 23. Kyron Williams, ACC running back of the week, watching Jafar Armstrong. Interesting path it's been for him. 2 years ago at this time, he was the back, Tony, coming out of the backfield, catching the ball and running. He's missed 7 games the last couple of seasons for injuries and has kind of fallen behind these young backs. He is the tailback right now to the right of Drew Pine. Jafar dancing up the middle. Hard running down to the 2-yard line.
And again, strong running, yards after contact, falling forward. All these backs are exhibiting that.
And like Kyron Williams has a lot of wide receiver in his background, so if he can find his way into that mix there at running back, he also brings quite a bit in catching the ball out of the backfield.
Well, and you hate to bring it up, but this COVID environment that we're in, this is important. Finding enough guys. Hey, you don't know who you're going to have next week or who you may not have. So
yeah,
keep them going and get everybody grooved and ready.
To your point, they thought they'd have number 34 Jameer Smith playing today as well, and he is listed as unavailable. A timeout on the field. 3:02 left. Cut off Marcus Woods. He said timeout on the field. We'll take a break and come right back. Aerial coverage is brought to you by Geico. Pretty good day to have that site here inside Notre Dame Stadium and really all across campus. Final weekend of summer, and it has been pretty. Other side of the stadium, that is Tony Simeone, and hey, that's my job.
I know.
Calling the radio.
Are you familiar with the name Wally Pip?
I am. I know how that works.
I hope that's not the case, but it's been fun to have you here with us today, Paul.
Tony, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm sure Tony Simeone has done a wonderful job. It's a great team up there. He's surrounded by talent. Hopefully he's enjoyed it as well. I'll be back there next week, Notre Dame at Wake Forest. Not only been fun in the booth, Tony, but talking to you all week about the stories and the connections. Just been a very enjoyable week.
No, it really has, and it couldn't have been better for me than doing this South Florida game because I know so many of these high school kids from my area in Tampa.
That kid right there was in high school just a couple months ago. Drew Pine, the quarterback, hands off, touchdown. Into the end zone goes Jafar Armstrong.
That's got to be a thrill for Drew to get a ball in there, take him in for a score.
Came up with a bad snap before he handed it off to Jafar.
Yep. And good vision and patience, bouncing it outside again by Armstrong. Excellent athleticism to get the snap. Good jump cut outside. Well done.
And how often do you get to say this about any team? They played 4 running backs today, and all 4 have rushing touchdowns.
Running back room will be happy.
Extra point is up and in. A lot of contributors, Tony.
Yes, a lot of guys getting their chance to play and making an impression. And to start with, Jack Kaiser, weak side linebacker, getting his first start, and he was all over the field. And then on special teams, Jordan Botello, big hit there to cause a bad punt, and then the recipient of a blocked punt and scoring a touchdown. These are 2 guys who made an impression, but Notre Dame coaching staff has to be happy because a lot of the young people that got in actually showed good, not only poise, patience, and hustle, excellent effort, but they were productive.
Jordan Botello right there, big time on special teams today, talking to one of the backup defensive ends, Isaiah Foskey. We've had him in a couple highlights as well. And I can picture number 24, Jack Kaiser, being made an example of on Monday, being like, hey guys, a week ago he was third string. Didn't know he was going to start today, and he was there time and time again. It's exactly what the coaches are looking for.
Thursday practicing hard, Friday practicing hard, probably not feeling like he was going to play too much.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you're in the game, and your practice habits pay off.
Brian Battie, the third string running back, scooped that one up. Nice run out across the 30-yard line to the 31.
Yeah, he's a young freshman from Sarasota. Your buddy Sean King actually recruited him.
Oh, really?
And really, they think very highly of this young man. They think he's going to be a great back down the road.
Former Buccaneer quarterback.
Yes, my buddy too, yes.
You guys won a lot of games together.
Yes,
I remember that.
And Sean was coaching at USF last year and told me over the week that he really likes Battie and thinks he's going to help them.
Used to call some games for us here at the NBC family. I remember doing the Mountain West package with Sean 2011, 2012. Been a while. New quarterback in for South Florida. And that's Jordan Smith.
Yeah, and I know Jeff Scott's disappointed with this score, and it's no fun to be on the losing end of 52-0, but there'll be some things that they can take from this and they can move forward. I remember with the Colts, my first year with the Colts, we had a big playoff game. You're excited about playing under the lights. We lost 41-0. And it's no fun, but you build from it, and you know, the next 6 years we were in the playoffs and winning Super Bowls because we grew from that experience, and that's what South Florida's got to do.
Here's what Jeff Scott is pointing for. The conference schedule coming up. It begins against Cincinnati in early October. And he talked, after he talked about location and the recruiting, and that's why he really wanted to go from Clemson to South Florida. He said, this is a pretty new program. Started in '97. There's a lot of firsts out there for this program. Conference title is one of them, and he really has his eyes set on that. I don't know about this year, but somewhere in the near future.
And I think South Florida is a great potential program, and I think Jeff Scott is really the right guy for it. And he'll fight through this. He's got a lot of enthusiasm. I watched them practice. They knew it was going to be a tough game today, but the players believe in them, and you know, they've got the right staff, and I think Jeff's the right guy.
What's the feeling in Tampa about having someone from that Clemson success down there running that program?
It's got everybody excited, and even the players. You talk to their players about Charlie Weiss, and they just rave about him, how smart he is and how energetic they are. And so these players will not get discouraged by this. I know they wanted to play better and have a closer game, but they're going to be fine. And you watch, they'll win some games. They'll give people problems down the stretch. And I'll tell you what, they have some skilled position players. Some of these backs and receivers can make things happen.
You could see the real concern of Clark Lee when we talked to him yesterday, defensive coordinator, about bottling up and making tackles against these playmakers, as the clock now shows nothing but zeros, including the 0 for South Florida. Brian Kelly's defense pitches a shutout. They come up with 52 points as well.
They did what Coach Kelly wanted to do. He wanted to see them start fast. He wanted to see them be disciplined and not give up big plays. And he wanted to see them finish. They got all three things done today.
20 consecutive wins at home now for Notre Dame. That dates back to early in the 2017 season. Jeff Scott getting his team together now on the sideline before they go in to the locker room. Jack Collinsworth on the field with Brian Kelly.
Well, Coach, you told us that you wanted to start fast today. How were you able to do it and carry it through?
Well, you know, I think we talked all week about, you know, the standard that we had set for, you know, our football team. And it's really just, you know, a mindset for our offense. You know, we had, you know, a young running back that started for us last week that was learning, and an offensive line that we wanted to set the tone. And as you saw, we ran the ball effectively today. So it was a point of emphasis, and we got off to that fast start and obviously set the tone for the day.
And there were key players unavailable, too, defensively. Who stepped up in a shutout?
Well, I think anytime you start a guy, Jack Kaiser, who, you know, obviously was 4th on the depth chart when we got out of camp, you know, obviously he played well for us.
just love watching these young players play. Alex Ahrensberger, you know, he was on our scout team playing nose, and now he's out playing the 5 technique, making plays all over the field. I just thought a lot of individual performances, guys stepping up. Houston Griffin getting a lot of playing time today. Nice to see him out there making plays. Sibo Fleminster, I thought, ran very, very hard today and picked up some really good yards for us. So I just think all in all, everybody contributed in some fashion, and really a good team win for us.
And in a unique year, how valuable are those fourth quarter reps out there, and who impressed you?
No doubt. I look at some of the younger defensive linemen, and then we got a lot of freshman corners that got some experience today. So those are valuable because you never know in this unusual year when somebody might be called upon to step up and play. You know, obviously now we get back into the ACC the rest of the way out, and it's going to be a very difficult and demanding schedule. So getting a little experience here today is going to help them moving forward.
Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.
Paul.
Thank you very much. And as Brian Kelly was talking about Sibo Fleminster, 100 yards a day, 13 carries for $127.
And you know what? I am really impressed with him because after not getting carries last week, it would have been easy to say, oh, well, you know, whatever. He went out there and ran hard and just showed these coaches, hey, I can do it for you.
Take a listen here to the alma mater. Notre Dame will have one more game before they come back here and play on October 10th in prime time on NBC against Florida State. They play at Wake Forest next weekend, and they have an off week after that. The Irish head to the locker room, 20 consecutive wins at home, and a convincing 52-0 win over South Florida behind them. Ian Book is now ready with Jack Collinsworth.
Ian, I saw you walk over about midway through the first and just give some love to your offensive line. What did you think of their work out there today?
They did an unbelievable job. When you can run the ball like that behind an O-line like that, it just opens everything else up. And, you know, my hat's off to them. They do a great job of, you know, run blocking and pass blocking. So they showed that tonight.
And this guy, Tommy Trimble, seems to be the force behind every big run. What do you respect most about his game?
He's an unbelievable competitor. And you see that when, you know, he's out, you know, in a route or maybe blocking too. So he's the best run blocker I've ever seen. So he just has he's got something to him. He's got a little nasty to him. And you see that, and, you know, as our running backs and quarterback, there's nothing better when that guy's in front of you blocking for you.
It was a slow start week one. How did you fix that on the field today?
That's what we focused on all week, you know, starting strong and starting fast. And we did that tonight. And, you know, we had an opportunity for guys to step up. We always talk about the next man in mentality, and we showed that tonight with guys playing some of their first snaps.
And there were some good players unavailable defensively. Who stepped up? Who did you see in the shutout?
I was watching Kaiser all over the field. You know, I'm excited to go watch the film, and it seemed like he had a ton of tackles, so I'm really happy for him. He stepped up.
Ian, we really appreciate the time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Paul.